Hello and welcome to Newsfeed, your daily dose of what people are talking about online, from news stories to what's trending. Twitter has just rolled out a new feature targeting businesses for its Blue subscription service. Let's hope that it doesn't fail terribly again, like it did last time. With this service, Twitter targets platforms that want to verify and distinguish themselves on the site. The most obvious change from a regular user perspective is the newly introduced Square profile pictures that's exclusively available for Blue for Business users. They will also be able to identify their affiliate accounts with a miniature logo of the main account's profile picture. Twitter probably really wants to avoid the brand impersonation spree that happened when it first launched the paid verification system last month. Many companies' stock prices tanked when trolling a $1 million business cost impersonators on Twitter only a couple bucks. Imagine how those lawsuits will play out. Speaking of Twitter, CEO Elon Musk dropped a bombshell of his own on the site the other day. He asked users whether he should stay on as head of Twitter or just leave. So early into his tenure too. Over 17 million users voted, with over 57% of them saying he should step down. That's around 10 million people. Ouch. Now, at the time of our recording, Musk still hasn't honored the result of the poll, but he did respond to some questions. First, he said he has no successor since anyone who can keep the platform alive doesn't want the job. He also positively responded to a suggestion about only Twitter Blue users being able to vote on policy-related polls on Twitter. As someone with a track record for doing things under the radar, Musk's next step is a mystery to everybody.
So are you gonna do it? Hey, are you a bot? No.
Epic Games has agreed to pay a record settlement to resolve a U.S. regulator's claims that it violated children's privacy and used deceptive payment methods. A total of over $500 million in penalties and refunds will be paid to the U.S. Federal Trade Commission and users. The maker of the popular Fortnite video game will be giving $275 million to the U.S. watchdog. The video game giant allegedly collected minors' data without parental consent and allowed harassment via the default voice chat. And $245 million will be used to repay customers who fell victim to what the FTC described as counterintuitive, inconsistent, and confusing button configuration. The video game giant didn't confirm or deny the accusations, but it has released a statement promising change.
No developer creates a game with the intention of ending up here. The video game industry is a place of fast-moving innovation where player expectations are high and new ideas are paramount. We accepted this agreement because we want Epic to be at the forefront of consumer protection and provide the best experience for our players. Over the past few years, we've been making changes to ensure our ecosystem meets the expectations of our players and regulators, which we hope will be a helpful guide for others in our industry.
The monumental growth of esports continues at an extraordinary rate. Its popularity is sky high, and professional gamers, or athletes as they prefer to be known, can potentially pocket eye-watering amounts in prize money. The second global esports games just took place in Istanbul with 300 athletes from over 65 countries taking part. Rumeysa Kalin Karabulut checked out the action.
This is the second annual esports tournament hosted by the Global Esports Federation. It's one of a number of similar tournaments held each year. This one features the games PUBG Mobile, eFootball 2023, Dota 2, and Street Fighter V.
I've been playing Street Fighter for about 6 years now. Preparing for this tournament, usually what I do for every tournament, put myself in a mindset that I'm about to go into competition. This is not just another fun game playing at home. This is serious.
In fact, the global market value for esports was $1.3 billion this year. That's more than 3 times the size of the global cricket market. And by 2030, it's expected to exceed $5 billion. Mid to high tier professional gamers make $50,000 to $75,000 annually. And that's excluding prizes for winning tournaments like this one, which can be hundreds of thousands of dollars. Next year's tournament will be held in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, and these athletes will no doubt keep up the training until then.
To the Netherlands now, which has issued a rare apology for its colonial past and how for centuries it profited from slavery. The country was once the largest transatlantic slave trader, primarily through the Dutch West India Company and the Dutch East India Company. The Netherlands had more than a dozen colonies worldwide and numerous trading posts. More than 600,000 people from Africa and Asia were trafficked by the Dutch between the 17th and 19th centuries. At its height in the 1700s, historians estimate up to 40% of Holland's economic growth could be attributed to slavery. Men, women, and children were forced to work on sugar, coffee, and tobacco plantations, in mines, and as household slaves in Dutch colonies in the Americas and the Caribbean. They were subjected to extreme physical, mental, and sexual violence. The Dutch government didn't ban slavery in its territories until 1863, though it was illegal in the Netherlands itself.
Eeuwenlang zijn in naam van de Nederlandse staat.
For centuries, in the name of the Dutch state, human beings were made into commodities, exploited and abused. For centuries, under Dutch state authority, human dignity was violated in the most horrific way. And successive Dutch governments, after 1863, failed to acknowledge that our slave past had, and still has, a negative impact. For this, I apologize on behalf of the Dutch government. Today, I apologize.
This makes the Netherlands one of the few major countries to formally apologize for its colonial past. However, campaigners say the apology should have come from the Dutch king, not the PM. They've also criticized the apology for being rushed, saying it should have been issued on July 1st next year, the 150th anniversary of the end of slavery in the former Dutch colony of Suriname.
We expect that in July 2023 that the Dutch government pay compensation of €400,000 for everyone who was affected by slavery.
The way it was presented, no, we don't accept the apology. Our committee will evaluate and discuss the matter and then give advice to the Surinamese government on whether it should accept the apology.
Human Rights Watch researcher Almas Tefera says it's disappointing that the Dutch government didn't consult with officials from its former colonies before making the apology, adding that there should be reparations and restitution to victims. Other netizens have highlighted Dutch colonial policy, specifically its culture system, a revenue system introduced by Dutch East Indies Governor General Johannes van der Bosch in what is now modern-day Indonesia.
Natives of Indonesia and then created the Cultuurstelsel with Johannes van den Bosch. The Cultuurstelsel said that Indonesians had to work 55 days a year on 1/5 of their own land and that profit belonged to him, not the Dutch state, to him. Obviously, he never paid a fair price for that 1/5 of land, so this was literally slavery and it really impoverished the Indonesian population that before then had independently traded with Europeans. To understand, this abusive criminal system made
I think out of all of the colonizing European countries, the Dutch probably had the greatest rebrand because no one ever associates it with colonization, even though it was a major player in the game. Like, at least now people associate it with being this super progressive country. And it's wild because they don't get any smoke for what they've done.
All right, on to what's trending. More than 30 people were injured after a Hawaiian Airlines flight hit unexpected turbulence. The flight carrying 288 people had severe turbulence about 30 minutes before landing in Honolulu. Passengers were sent flying from their seats. 20 of the injured were admitted to the hospital upon landing, and 11 are said to be in serious condition. Our correspondent Ubay Shabandar gives all frequent flyers a warning.
Keep those seatbelts buckled up, folks. The Phoenix to Honolulu flight hit major and unexpected turbulence, which is a lesson for all of us to learn that turbulence on these flights, especially these long-haul flights, can come out of nowhere. Now, 11 were seriously injured, and where many of those injuries take place is when a plane suddenly loses altitude, and if you're not buckled up, you're going to go straight to the ceiling of that plane. Injuries are going to result. So now, while turbulence is normal and for many flights, and it's nothing necessarily to be worried about, it can happen with little to no notice. So a lesson for all of us here from this flight. Luckily, nobody was killed. But an important lesson here that we should always keep our seatbelts on when we're on those flights, even if there doesn't seem to be any sign of turbulence. You never know. It may either save your life or prevent serious injuries to you and your loved ones.
It's well known that Tom Cruise goes above and beyond for his roles. The three-time Academy Award nominee has jumped off cliffs, climbed down skyscrapers, and leapt from one building to another. He even piloted his own plane for Top Gun Maverick, and in his announcement that the movie will be available to stream on Paramount+, he did the most. While doing a stunt for his next movie, Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning, he filmed this thank you video.
I didn't want the year to end without thanking you all for coming out to the theater, and thank you for supporting Top Gun Maverick. Hey, here's Chris McCoy, writer, director. Hi, everybody. Hey, thank you. Hey, listen, we really got to roll. We got to get this shot. Oh, yeah, we're filming. We got to get this shot. All right, are you coming? Not on your line. Good luck. Okay, we'll see you down there. Whoa! Where was I? Oh yeah, thank you for supporting Top Gun Maverick. As always, thank you for allowing us to entertain you. It truly is the honor of a lifetime. Yeah. Very lucky. I'm running out of altitude, so I better get back to work. We gotta get this shot. You have a very safe and happy holiday. We'll see you at the movies.
Wow, that guy really is crazy. And that's our show. Find us on YouTube and do subscribe to our channel. See you same time tomorrow.